Hi guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com and welcome back to my channel where I chat all about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. So if you love this kind of topic, come on over and subscribe because it would be so great to see you here. And this week's subject is a really big, important one that I don't see covered a whole lot. So when Louise asked me to talk about it, I got really excited because I was like, you know what? This happens to a lot of us, and it's a really good idea to talk about it. So she asked me to talk about when you've had a really good connection with your guides, and for some reason or another, you feel like you've lost it. Like, how do you get it back? Where did they go? What do you do next? So I spent some time thinking about it, and I've got 3 really good, strong, basic tips for reconnecting, reestablishing that connection with your guides once you feel like you've lost it. And the good news about this is if you've already had a connection with them and you feel like you've lost it, it's very easy to get it back. They are so eager to help and communicate. It's a two-way street. So what I've noticed tends to happen is when we diligently create a connection with the guides, it's usually based on a need that we have. So either we're having a dark night of the soul, we're going through something really treacherous and harrowing, or we're working on psychic development and we just really want to know if guides are real and who yours are and where they are and all of that. And so it's with that energy and that focus that we create the connection out of a strong need and desire. And then it's like, oh my gosh, they're real, they're here, and they help us get through whatever we need to get through. But life has a way of sweeping us up sometimes, and we can get caught up in things, moving, buying a new house, getting caught up in work and in life. Like, gosh, when I had my son for the first couple of years, I mean, meditating, are you kidding me? That's like out of the question. And so things happen and then we lose the connection. And then we realize like we need it again. And it's like radio silence, So when that happens, the very first thing to do is to just start asking for help again. Feel like, if you're here, help me. Please, I need your help. Help me with this little thing. Help me with this big thing. Please just help me. But the really important part here is you really do need to acknowledge when you receive the help. That is critical because, number 1, it signals to your subconscious that something is happening here. You're keeping track. And number 2, that gives you the proof and the validation. Because what happens if you just don't pay attention anymore and the problem gets solved, but like you're not attributing it to the fact that you asked your guides to come back, but maybe that's the reason why. So you documenting and recording it is very, very important. And then you just keep asking. For this video, you guys it's so hard. I'm not a natural video person. It took a lot of healing work to put myself on camera. So today, I said to make this video. My cat needs to eat. He's 20 years old. He's deaf as a doorknob. He screams when he meows. It's like so loud. I'm like, oh my gosh. So then he finishes eating, and then it's like he's screaming. I'm like trying to make the video. Oh my gosh, I can't. Then my neighbor, who I love, is little and so cute, had a complete meltdown outside. So I'm in here. I started to make the video. I've done like 20 takes. I hear him having one of his epic meltdowns, like very, very loud. I'm like, I can't. And then I did another one, you guys. I made a whole video. And then for some reason, like I either didn't put the button on to play or the phone, and then it was nothing. So with this take, I'm like, please guides, help me do this. And so far I'm at almost 5 minutes and I'm okay. So hopefully we'll get through the end. But I was like, please help me. And it's totally like, if you're here, like, I don't know if I have specific guides for video making. I know I have a team, like, please help me. So let's see what happens. But that's kind of how it works, from big things to small things, big and small. One of the most beautiful prayers to the powers that be, gods, angels, guides, is just help me get through this. Give me the strength to get through this. And they will. And I almost want to cry. I made a video a long, long time ago when I started making videos about a terrifying flight I was on with horrible turbulence. And I was just like, angels, just praying to the angels, like especially Raphael, who rules the element of air. I was like, Raphael, 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 to calm me down. Like, if I'm going to die, can I just die calm and not die like freaking out on an airplane? And I reached into the seat pocket in front of me and pulled, there was like, I don't know, for whatever reason, after this silent, like praying, pray. And there was a stub from somebody else who had been on a flight before me. And the name was Angel, from LaGuardia, which in Italian is like to guard, like guardian angel. And I thought that was so beautiful, which brings me to point number 2, is pray, ask for help. And then not only do you notice that, notice all the signs and synchronicities that they deliver when they bring the help. Because guides and angels love to work in the world of the symbolic, and it makes all of this so mystical, so magical, and so incredibly sacred. It's like, if you know what I'm talking about, like, right? Like, you ask your angel for help, and all day it's 444 and 1111 and 555, and those numbers you see everywhere, the number sequences on license plates, on your phone, on your clocks, everywhere. Another way that beautiful synchronicity will come through when you're asking for guides to help or to just show you that they're here is through the radio, or even on whatever device that you're listening to, like a streaming device, streaming platform, whatever. They'll stream in like really beautiful stuff that's uplifting and helpful. And one time in particular, I was at a terrible workplace over a decade ago, needing a lot of help. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Help me. Like, what do I do here? And guess what song came on the radio? Blinded by the Light. And it was like, whoa, that is so, like, make your light so blindingly bright, many things. At one point I was really working with Archangel Gabriel for help. I've been through a lot in life, so I definitely have needed a lot of divine assistance. It comes through. One of the days I was praying to Gabriel, I saw a person walking down my street with bright blue hair and an orange garment on, which is Gabriel's blue and orange. And that same day on the radio and classical music station was a piece on Gabriel's trumpets. So legitimately Archangel Gabriel messages, synchronicities, and signs. So be very, very open, but again, very much document it. Write it down, notice, so that you remember how important this is and you have that proof that they're here. So pay attention. I know I'm leaving out all the beautiful ways that guides can come through. One way that's very cool too is sometimes they'll speak through other people to you. Other people will deliver a message from your guides to you, which is also just mind-boggling. But it's quite beautiful. Now the third, which Louise expected that I would talk about, and she's so right, because I talk about it with everything related to psychic development, is meditation. Now I created a beautiful spirit guides meditation that you can get at krishanti.com. It's really inexpensive, and it's a very fairy tale-like kind of journey. And it will help you connect in with, I think, about 3 guides, because we definitely have more than one. And so that meditating will help reestablish the connection. I also created a meet and work with spirit guides MP3 audio course that you can get at krishanti.com if you'd like to go back to the basics, or if you don't really know about your guides and would like to just establish that connection from the get-go. Check both of those things out. And while I'm at it talking about all this, I would love to hear your experiences, and I think other people would as well. So if you know who your guides are, if there are some amazing synchronicities and symbols that they've given to you, please share it, because the more of us who are starting a conversation and talking about this, the better, because we actually give not only ourselves but everyone else permission to walk this walk. The more support we have and the more we believe, the more the guides can come through, and we create the space for them to come in. But on the topic of meditation, you guys, I've talked about this before. I do channeling work. My channeling is through automatic writing. So I get into a meditative state. I have my laptop. I do this special sort of technique I learned, but my guides, I believe, really taught me, where I kind of go, they call it rising on the plains. I found out about that later on, but I go up to where they are. And when you kind of travel, and I teach psychic students this too, because it's very, very important and very helpful when you're deep into this work. There are different dimensions. So you're here in the body, but you're kind of not in the body, and you're up in the higher planes. And there's so much love and light there that it's more fun to be there than it is on Earth, which is very like dense and mundane. And what happened was I realized I've been doing this channeling work, and I made myself do it quite often. You can kind of get too lost in that world and not be present enough on the Earth plane. So I thought I just would take a little break to just be earthy and be more here. And also, I mean, sometimes, just like with guides, sometimes we're human, we're mortal, we're not amazing, as amazing as they are. We're amazing in our own way. I just was like, okay, well, let me just stop with this for a little bit. And then I thought, gosh, am I going to get it back? Because what has happened when I do this channeling is beings who I have never really had a connection with that I can recall, like in this physical incarnation, come to talk to me. And I'm always surprised by who they are. And that's been one of the fun things with the channeling, although I don't know if it's fun per se, because it can be so profound that it's hard to put into words how unbelievably incredible it is when these divine beings actually speak to you. It's like, what? So I hadn't been channeling for a while, and I was like, I meditate, but it wasn't like to connect with the guides, so I'm like, am I gonna get it back? And the other day I sat down to do a channeling thing. Right away, someone came through, someone new. It was the Hindu goddess Annapurna. And I'm not Hindu, I'm half Indian, but I'm not Hindu. But Annapurna came through. And first it was this beautiful presence, a color. Then I asked, well, who are you? What do you help with? And then I asked, what is your name? And then she gave me her name. And that's my method for connecting when I do the channeling work with these different guides. And then when I had that information, only then did I Google. Well, at that point I was like, well, who is Annapurna? And I Googled it, and that's where it's like, OMG, like this is legit and this is real. And it's just incredible, being after being after being. And so what I want you to also think about with the guides is there is no limitation. There is really no reason why, like, only one guide is here to help you, that Jiminy Cricket, and if something happens to him, like, you're SOL. It's like, well, there is a whole pantheon of beings, of deities, of angels, of intergalactic, like, incredible other beings from other places. Like, there is so much out there that, and so many beautiful divine forces conspiring to help, that you shouldn't have to worry about lack and limitation. Guides are coming from a place of abundance. And of course, as you know, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. We're talking high level, benevolent, beautiful beings who are here to help us get through this thing. It's not always easy. So thank goodness we have help. So those are the 3 steps. Ask. Number 1, keep asking. Write it down when they give you the help. Number 2, look for those signs and synchronicities, because they will come through. And that's proof and evidence that they're around. And number 3, get back into meditation and try channeling too, and try automatic writing, because that's how I love that method of connecting in. But it really, the meditation and listening to spirit guide meditations and stuff too will help you. In fact, at the beginning when I was starting that connection, I would listen to meditations quite often to get used to who the guides are, who would come through, what their energy felt like, what color they were, because usually they're just colors, and what they're here to help with, So with that, before you go, please leave a comment if you know who your guides are and if you've had profound experiences, and let us know also how they've helped. It looks like I've made it to the end of this video, so I think they helped with that, and I hope so, and I'm pretty sure. But classic example. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.